So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So we just got the data download for the upcoming end of month batch, or as it's called nowadays, the PKA batch. So let's jump right into it. And as predicted, it's going to be Wano. The main surprise is that we don't have Green Ball. Like my prediction was Adult Momo and Green Ball, but instead we got Adult Momo and another Hiyori. Like, who wanted that? Like, I guess she must be really popular if Bana does another legend for her. And we also got some cool recruits like Skiyaki, Robin-in-Law, Toko, and because I don't remember the name. I'm so bad at names. Kiko, of course. God. But yeah, I will start by saying that the lack of Green Ball is highly concerning for me personally, since by classic Bandai fashion, Green Ball should get a legend. And I really don't want him to be New Year. That would be incredibly anticlimactic. So at this point, just praying that he's like a PvP or treasure map legend. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, let's talk about the new units. As for the actual Sugofest, nothing special, stock standard, end of month. I'm just showing it for people who are interested. We will have the official announcement tomorrow, most likely. And yeah, I guess we'll start with the rare recruits. This is a slasher batch, so every unit is a slasher. First we have Kiku and Toko, slasher free spirit. None of these rare recruits has any support, by the way. Kiku and Toko does have double special, which is very cool. A bad perfect. Bad captain does have a conditional boost though. Special, one turn delay, slasher characters block and type slots are changed to matching, reduces the duration of barriers by 1 turn, reduces resilience by 3 turns, and if 4 or more slashers are on the crew, you get a 2 times delay conditional, otherwise a 1.75 times delay conditional. So with double special, you can remove barrier by 2 turns, resilience by 6 turns, or you try and get the buffs and the utility for 2 different stages. So I think it's pretty solid. I'm pretty sure this unit will see some use from time to time due to being so unique. Law and Robin. Personally, this is a bit of a ship of mine. I'm sure it is for many, but I think they go great together. So I'm happy they got a rare recruit. Nothing special though with their potential abilities. Captain ability also nothing special. As for the special, it reduces special bind by 6 turns, reduces damage reduction by 6 turns, 3 turns call affinity, 2 times call affinity. And if 4 or more slashers on the crew, the final tap gets a buff by 10%. And this is going to be on basically every unit here. We can talk about it more when we get to Momo, but basically just final tap does 10% more damage. That's basically it. Also resist special bind and some extra stats. Finally, we have Skiyaki. Noteworthy is that in his captain he does resist bind by 1 turn, so nice little nod there. Quick slasher free spirit, no special potential ability. I think all of these have crits, so I think the idea is that they want to have a lot of slashers that can go well with the old Fujikasaru who boost crit damage. Special, reduces damage notification by 1 turn, reduces bind by 6 turn. He gets a Wano orb himself. And he can buff chain boost. If you have a 3-turn chain boost, it gets buffed by plus 0.6. 2-turn chain boost, buffed by plus 0.3. Otherwise, you get a plus 1.2 chain boost for 1 turn. And if 4 or more slashes on the crew, you buff final tap by 10% again. So it's a very small amount of extra damage, but as it says, it can stack. So if you use both Law, Robin, and Skiaki, you get a 20% buff, so a bit more. And then the legends will boost even more. He has matching slot effects himself, decent enough. I doubt he will have much attack though, so not sure if that's very helpful. Okay, let's get into the legends. I think we start with the Momo to talk a bit about the new buff in buffing final tap. I will say that this Momo legend is extremely disappointing. Like, my first reaction when reading his kit was like, is this the worst legend of the year? Like, I actually had to go back to Kizaru and Fuji and look at their kit to compare them. Like, I wasn't sure who was worse, but I do think Kizaru Fuji still is the worst, but this is a top 3 contender for sure. They really snubbed our boy here. Like, he finally got his big legend being an adult, and it's so bad. So sad. Quick slasher free spirits. He even has a bad slot bind. He has a bad crit too, of course. And his final tap is also pretty bad, so we will see. Another thing that is pretty bad is the captain ability. The good thing though, speedrun captain, slasher and free spirit, -2 CD. But that's also everything basically. 1.35 times HP, 5.25 times attack, recover tandem matching slot effects. If 4 or more slashes are on the crew, you instead have a 5.5 times attack boost and you get a bit of extra chain plus 0.2. But no utility, no special thing going on. And it's basically just pretty good attack and -2 CD and nothing else. And like by itself, this is not a deal breaker like the super and special can make up for it, but I don't really think it does. As for the super, at least you only need one specific unit, and it's very easy to find, like either Luffy, Yamato, or like any Wano unit basically. You get a 1.25 times attack and ore boost for slasher and free spirit that can be overwritten. This will make more sense when we look at Hiyori, but yeah, it looks like a bit of a meme when you see it. You can get a 3-turn base attack boost, plus 1250, which is not a big amount, it's a bit whatever. And Slasher becomes Super Slasher, so as said, Super not very convincing either, so it's just a special left here. Starts good though, reduces death up and threshold by 7 turns, like that's not bad, utility solid. If 3 or fewer slashers are on the crew, set the chain multiplier to 2. Minimum 2.75 times, maximum 30 times for 2 turns. So basically you get a 2.75 times chain boundary for 2 turns with few slashers. If you have 4 or more slashers, you can get a 3-turn chain boundary that is a bit higher, 3 times up to 30. So far, solid. We just need that final nail to make Momo really usable, like the really thing pushing you to use Momo. And as you might guess, it's about buffing final tap, and final tap gets a 30% extra damage output, and that's incredibly minuscule again. Like getting a stack with the other units, but it's not like you want to use all of these together all of the time, especially against like super bosses or something. So it's just a very low extra value, and like you have to run a final tap too, like Momo has it, but he doesn't have the best final tap. He gets a little bit better with this, but and yeah, after this special launch, boost the attack of the next final tap performed by a slasher or free spirit character by 10% for 3 turns. That's interesting. So he can get a bit more extra damage to final tap. I think I misread this before, and I'm not sure I understand it correctly. But it looks like if somebody tries to apply attack boost or slot effects boost, not sure if both, you can increase the final tap damage a bit more. So that's a pretty interesting gimmick, I guess. But I don't really think it salvages the unit. Like in general, you don't really build your damage around the final tap. The final tap is just a nice bonus. Could change if they start making final tap better. My main issue with this unit though is that sure, the utility is nice, but in order to get the 3-turn chain boundaries, you can use Momo say a stage earlier. You need to have 4 slashers, which is not very realistic a lot of the time. And sure, if you do it, Momo gets a lot better, but like forcing a lot of slashers just to get the 3-turn chain boundaries is a bit meh, in my opinion. I would have preferred if he started at 2.75 times with 3 turns and then went up to like 3.25 times. I think that would have been a lot more valuable. Like take a year-old unit like a Ruan Bam Beckman, who always gives a 3-turn good chain boundary and has a lot better kit in all kinds of ways. Like it's hard to believe that this Momo releases 1 year later than like Ruan Beckman, for example. So yeah, I'm not a fan at all. Final tap, need 3 specific units, is basically dead just from that. Momo gets a Wano orb, and the chain is boosted 2.25 times final hits, so this is like the stock standard final tap. So not much to talk about, like he will do a bit more damage now, but that's it basically. He also has a good support actually, can put on a lot of units, and you get a chain boundary starting at 1.75 up to 5 times chain when you use a special. So I think it will be pretty good. It's not super good though, since you can't get higher than 5 times chain. So this is mostly for content when you struggle finding any type of chain, then this will be pretty good. And like getting the 5 times chain is better than having like a 4 times chain lock, for example. So yeah, it's a great support. Best part of this unit by far. He boosts stats of slashes by 100. That's actually pretty cool. If Captain is slasher, you have a guarantee +1 extra chain. So yeah, this Momo is definitely mainly a sub. I will show you the PvP stuff. Not that I will talk much about it. I have barely not looked at it. I do think Momo and Hiyori could be valuable for quick. Like Momo's attack up, def up for quick, pretty good. Momo does a lot of damage, can do special bind for a bit. And they can also target 1 high def enemy in 1 def for 2 times damage. So pretty high CT though, so I'm not really sure if it will be that great, but promising on paper. Grand Party, quick / free spirit buffs, burst, unit use 5 specials, target 1 enemy for death down, like, yeah, some damage, not ignoring defense, so yeah, basically dead on arrival. With that, let's look at a better legend, which is Hiyori. Well, which version of Hiyori this is depends on how you count, but in terms of units called Hiyori, it's V2 Hiyori. But you can also call a count like Komurasaki or like the Toki legend who has Hiyori on it, so. Anyway. Quick / free spirit, just like Momo, but this is a super type instead. And she has a super tandem. And yeah, I'd say this Hiyori is better in all terms of ways in viability. Starting with the Captain ability, quick / free spirit 5.25 times attack, 5.5 times attack when they have tandem Wano orbs, 1.2 times HP, tandem matching slot effects, 50% damage reduction, 2k heal at the end of turn, and resist the spear by 10 turns. Like, the main negative here is no speed run, which is negative of course, but in all other ways, like a lot better captain, like having the spear resist is a lot more valuable in general, I'd say. So pretty good captain ability for sure. Could see some use. Super also just needs one specific unit, and this is also a lot better super, I'd say. Quick slash and free spirit -1 CD. Changes own slot, including block to tandem. You get an orb block for 1 turn. Reduce paralysis by 6 turns. Applies -20% slasher and quick resistance to all enemies for 1 turn. So if you are quick and slasher, you basically get -40% resistance. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's a really good super. I have not much to complain. Like, would have been good if it was full board Orbanip, but it is what it is. As for the special, 15k HP heal, changes Hiyori slot to tandem, changes Asian slots to Wano, reduces attack down by 7 turns, a quick slash and free spirit, 2.5 times attack, 2.25 times orb boost for 1 turn. So very similar to the Komurasaki legend, who does it for 2 turns though. But if you have an attack boost and orb boost when special is launched, like from Momo's superclass for example, you get that 3 turn plus 1.6 chain boost. That's really good. You lock orbs for 1 turn, and after 1 turn you boost quick slash and free spirit carries attack by 2.75 times and slot effects by 2.5 times for 2 turns. And I actually misread this on my first look, and it's even better than I thought, because I thought that basically you got a bigger attack and orb boost when you did this, but no. Basically, if you combine with Momo, for example, you will overwrite Momo's buff with Hiyori's 2.5 times attack boost, 2.25 times orb boost, and then the turn after that, you get the 2.75 times attack boost and 2.5 times orb boost. So pretty interesting. Like in most situations when you get this extra effect, you will only really get the chain boost, but of course if you combine with the weak buff like Momo has that can be removed, you can get the OG buffs as well, and then later get the better buffs. Pretty interesting design. My main complaint is that she doesn't have that much utility, just attack down. But other than that, it's solid. Super Tandem, pretty bad, need 2 specific units. And again, boost the attack of the final tap by 10%. We're back again, like, that's not good. That doesn't matter. And apart from that, you get 1.5 times a tandem attack boost. So incredibly low, but at least she gets it, unlike Kobe, who didn't get anything. Still super shafted, the poor boy. But yeah, just very disappointing the way they've done. The last 2 Super Tandem both have been absolutely useless, basically. Support, also very good. If any of these units uses a special, they get plus 0.7 chain boost for 1 turn. So super good. Nothing to complain about there. Tandem matching for slash and free spirit and some extra healing. Yeah, very solid idea. Look forward to getting her down the line. Komos looks a bit decent, not as good as Momo though. HP up, def up, like that's what you want in terms of defense. You can target enemies for 50% chance of action bind, like that's incredibly RNG. Target slashers for attack up level 6, speed up level 6, special hit to 20% reduction. So the 20% reduction is really good actually, but she has 33 CT, so I'd say not really worth it, to be honest. As for Grand Party, quick and slasher buffs, and your debuffs driven, so that's pretty interesting. Taking damage 20 times, that sounds absolutely awful. Don't see that being procced twice. Well, maybe since it includes normal attacks, but I don't think it's particularly reliable at least. Targets all enemies 100% chance of special bind. Targets slash HP class teammates for low healing interval, like that's not great. Targets driven class enemies 100% chance of half stats. That's decent, but it's just driven. Driven are hardly the kings of Grand Party right now. So yeah, nothing special in Grand Party for either new legend. So yeah, 20-minute video, longer than expected, but yeah, that's all you need to know ahead of the new patch. One final thing I'll say is that these two will most likely not be pullable on the New Year Sugo, which is the next big Sugo Fest after this. So might be something to keep in mind when pulling. I don't recommend pulling, but if you're thinking I'll just pull them on New Year, you should reconsider, is basically my point. Like if you get a part 1 on New Year when we can pull all legends, they will be pullable there, but not rate boosted. So you have a small chance of pulling them, but if you pull them like part 2, 3, or 4, if you get something like that, they won't be available. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.